Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is Star Wars Saturdays, legally distinct from any, well, not legally distinct. It's a series, an anthology series of tabletop role-playing games that I've been running for a few years now for an online community of tabletop RPG fans known as the Gauntlet. For Star Wars Saturdays, what I do is each month, I choose a different RPG. I'm past 65 different RPGs that I've chosen, and either reskin or hack a little bit, or just say it's in Star Wars now, change all the clothing types to Star Wars clothing types. And when this says magic, you say force. Sometimes I do it just that simple. And then some folks from the Gauntlet will hop on our RSVP site, sign up, and we gather together for that month, create characters. Sometimes we bring back characters from other systems, which is always fun. And sometimes we create brand new folks from whole cloth with the system at hand. And we tell a story together about someplace a long time ago in a galaxy far away. The timeline that we have been keeping is primarily, I try to stick to just the movies as the only canon that you need. So we are currently after Return of the Jedi, not long after Return of the Jedi, a year or so. And that means that Palpatine is dead because Palpatine fell down a chasm, exploded into electrical things, and then the Death Star blew up. So he's way gone. And the New Republic has risen, but in our timeline, and because it's fun, not all of the Empire decided to just kowtow and give up their grasp on planets and sectors in the galaxy. And we are currently playing in a section that I've borrowed from what is considered Legends canon, known as Zinj's Empire. A grand moth by the name of Zinj declared himself the warlord of the empire in not canon anymore, but I thought it was interesting enough for us to borrow. And so the Zinj's Empire covers several sectors of the galaxy. And the New Republic is fighting to free that section of the galaxy from the tyrannic grasp of Warlord Zinj, but as yet, Zinj has not relinquished that. We began last week playing Thrilling Adventures, which is a very cool, let's show the book. It's the biggest PBTA, like for actual like shelf, biggest PBTA book I have, a pulp adventure game. So it has slotted in for Star Wars incredibly well. We created some characters, started off on a place known as Spaceport Trident Vespa, and discovered a bit about our characters as they faffed around a bit, had some fun. No one made a roll, if I remember correctly. I'm probably misremembering. It sure felt like it. There were a lot of fails on the table, but some interesting revelations. And the treasure map was gained. The group took off towards the Kyber Idol, a map of some particular treasure. And we ended before you guys had left, and there was a little pocket scene at the end where the Zygarians, who seem to be a friendly but also threatening group, Tosley Carnelus, the Zygarian leader of the Carnelus pack, said to send a section of the pack 5 after the crew, and we will find out a bit about their leader, the leader of those 5, in a bit here. So with all of that explained for our background and a bit of our story, I will remind everyone and all viewers we are using particular safety tools because that is important for folks getting together to play tabletop RPG. So important that my dog must howl in agreement. Sorry for that. We have lines, we have veils and ask firsts, as well as the X card and open door. Ah, goodness. So, yeah, we've defined those in our character keeper. And the lines are things we will not cross. Veils are things that if they happen, we will draw a curtain or a veil over it, fade away, fade to black, that kind of things. Ask first means it's completely situational. It could be cool, or maybe it's a thing that based on the approach is not cool. Therefore, if we tread upon an ask first topic, then we ask that you introduce it to the players outside of character and say, hey, I've got an idea around midichlorians. I see that as an ask first. Is everybody cool if I mention midichlorians here for the reason of X or Y? Because believe it or not, sometimes people get a little cheesed off at the idea of midichlorians. Hashtag not my Star Wars. I'm not one of those folks. For some reason, if you call it M count, it's totally fine with me. But there you go. So I stick that there. I proactively always have ask first midichlorians because I have I've seen some folks who get a little tweaked about it, and I don't want to step on their, I don't want to yuck their yum, friends. That's what safety tools are about. We try to find the same yum and we all yum together. That's the thing. Cool. So with all of that out of the way, let's go around and reintroduce our adventurers. We're going to start from the left-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the right. So Cody, you get to go first.
Awesome. Real quick, yeah, we don't yuck yums, but like the Ewoks, we yub nub. All right, so with that out of the way, that necessary thing to say.
Go ahead and mark an X, please.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Let me go ahead and jot that down. Yeah, I'm Cody. I use the he/him pronouns, and I'm playing Khan. He's a thief, a career criminal. A ne'er-do-well. He's a safe cracker. He's human. Looks like James Caan in the movie Thief. And what more do you need to know, really?
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I thought that was yeah, but that's where you're going. That's where you're stopping right there. That's a good place to stop, though. Excellent, Greg. You are up.
Hi, I'm Greg. I use he/him pronouns as well. I'm playing Yui. Yui is a gosh, I forget the name of the droid. Did I write it in there? Techno service droid. Good job, Pass Greg. Techno service droids are the droid that is along with Cad Bane with the floaty feet. That's a techno service droid. Yui is the kid playbook. So I have a pet. My pet is Late 2. Late 2 is a Forlom style assassin droid, and she's really not great at being an assassin droid. She's very poorly functional through a big ball bearing, thinking honestly that it was a thermal detonator. And Yui has a whole bunch of, like, all the MacGuffins are on Yui right now. Yui is storing the treasure map that likely leads to the Kyber idol, and also has in his possession what he believes to be proof that Khan is hiding things from the rest of the crew. Very excited to have that pay off.
Blood owl. Sweet. That was my sound effect for something paying off by revelation. I'm not sure if it's accurate. Sam, you're up. Please introduce us to your character.
Yeah, I'm Sam. I use he and him pronouns, and I will be playing as Defshi, who uses he and they interchangeably. Defshi is a mid-20s Mirialan. He's male presenting, but very ostentatious. He's got the black velvet suit. He's got the gold filigree woven into his hair. It's way overkill. He's newly come into money from his connections with these Igarians and doesn't really know what to do with it. And we're trying to figure that out.
We are indeed. And we are thrilled, fresh back from Gen Con, to welcome Stephen to the crew. Hey, Stephen.
Hi, my name is Stephen. My pronouns are he, him. Today I'm playing Jill's Bib, who is a Thorian, like we see in the Cantina in A New Hope. And he is the treasure hunter playbook. And, trouble just seems to find him. He's good at finding things, which is kind of why he's along for this ride. And we'll see how things go.
Awesome. And we have some bonds to share back and forth. Stephen, it looks like you may have chosen a few pretty cool bonds. So let's talk about those real quick.
Yeah, so I chose a few bonds. I looked through the playbook that I had. I'd also listened to just a little bit of the introduction for the different characters to get me up to speed. So my first bond is this is someone that you definitely don't trust. Tell them why you don't trust them. And I'd like to assign that to Khan. So I think the reason I don't trust you is because we've competed to find the same treasure at some point. You stole it. I'm a legit thief, right? I get the treasure and do with it what it's supposed to do, but you're a thief.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How does that work?
I like it. Yeah.
Has Khan stolen something from Jill's or someone Jill's knows?
Ooh.
I don't think so. Unless, of course, Jill's happened to give something worth something to somebody and they put it in a safe that later I had to crack. But that's really not me stealing from them or even the person. I'm not stealing. I'm opening. I'm about the free flow of goods, It's different. People hire me to open up channels of egress. I don't lift things from other places, you see.
Got it.
Totally different.
Jills, what treasure had you stored with another person in safekeeping that you were going to get paid for, that safe was cracked and you have heard it was Khan's fault? That probably makes you feel a little, yeah.
It was a very rare item because it was an artifact from Alderaan, and most of them were destroyed. So it took a little bit of effort to find this, and there might have been some, asteroids and like delving into it and that kind of stuff involved. And I was really kind of cheesed that, all that effort went to, nothing because it was just a safe crack and done.
Oh, and then Yui, tell us, what is this particular Alderaan artifact? As Alderaan being a peaceful nation, of course, it probably wasn't a weapon.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking that it was okay. Feel free to say it's not this, but I'm thinking it was like a seed for an endangered species that only existed on Alderaan.
That's interesting. Like
there's probably some gigantic redwood equivalent because Star Wars was made in California. So like there's like a redwood tree equivalent kind of seed.
Nice.
So it's something inconspicuous but incredibly valuable because it's one of the few that are still around.
Nice. Very, very cool. Thank you guys. I hope Jill's and Khan, are you guys good with it being seed of ancient tree, Alderaan tree? I think that's good stuff.
Do you want Rich, do you want me to go with my bond for Jill's and then we can like go back?
Why don't you? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. What bond would you like to offer up to Jill's?
So the bond I'm offering up to Jill's here, and I think maybe this is a little bit earlier in our relationship, since apparently he definitely doesn't trust me. I think Jill's could be a very great partner in crime if he just got his head around what exactly it was he was doing. He's just a thief, right? Thief of a different Brandon. Ask them if they've ever done any time. Jill's, you done any time? You been in the slammer?
That was a misunderstanding. Nobody really got hurt. It was fine. Yes, I've done time. And if you don't mind, I think that we were partners at some point until, that Alderaan thing came up. So that's why there's this bitterness between the two of us now. Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Do you mind if we make this an imperial prison? Like they were actually legitimately maybe upholding whatever law happened in that area, but just so we have a little saltiness towards the empire.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. Oh, this is good. Thank you for offering that one back. What's your next, Jills? What's your next bond that you offer?
Let's do Yui. I think Yui saved my life once. So tell me about the heroic deed.
Are you okay if it was completely inadvertently saved your life? Because I feel, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so Yui used to work for the Zygarians. Is it possible that like you were in trouble with the Zygarians and Yui gave you an out when maybe he shouldn't have?
By an out, you mean like accidentally set me free, or
yeah, accidentally set you free, or opened a door when they were trying to like pincher you in.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that the Zygarians were actually after one of the same things that I was after, and you were supposed to be guarding this door, and then L8 kind of wandered off, and you followed
Late
them.
Late
looked out
yeah.
that door. Yeah.
How am I supposed to guard this by myself? I was supposed to be the R2D2 to Late 2's C3PO, but it's actually kind of feeling it's the opposite way now. So yeah, okay. I was supposed to guard a door, and I didn't, which gave you an out away from the Zygarians. I think that the Zygarians may blame me for your escape. That may be one of the many reasons they were trying to unload me.
And I think if you don't mind, I think I saw, I slipped around the corner, and I thought you obviously saw me, and then you walked away. So I think it was intentional.
I'm on your side. Totally.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great. Did you have one to offer back from Yui to Jills?
Yes. I have a couple that they're all very similar. But I was going to go with and we're gonna have to play with this one a little bit. But Jills reminds me of endearingly of a relative. Tell you who or why. So it's relative is interesting for a droid. I think maybe you remind me endearingly of Late 2 for some reason, or perhaps a previous owner, or yeah.
I like the idea that Late 2 is a little bit quirky, but part of his programming came from like an Ithorian. So there's certain phrases or behaviors that Late 2 has that kind of mimics some of my behavior. So it's sort of like an unconscious thing.
Okay. So I was programmed by an Ithorian at one point. I was
Late 2.
Yeah.
Late 2 was programmed by
Late 2 was
right?
programmed. Okay. Okay, so Late 2 was programmed by an Ithorian. Which is interesting. That's all kinds of complicated. Yeah. So what is the because Late 2 is a bumbling assassin droid. What is it about Jills that is similar there?
I think it's movement related. I don't think that there's anything that is actually like the Ithorians taught me that blah blah blah. I think it's just
right.
The way that Jills moves. I'm saying the way that Jills moves versus the way that Late 2 moves. They have a similar gait, for example.
Got it.
Late 2 walks like an Ithorian. That's great.
Aren't Ithorians kind of laid back and slow? Or maybe I'm confusing them with a different sci-fi alien race, because we talked about in the last game that Late 2 was very slow moving and lizard-like. And
oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's right. So you may not have gotten to that part, Stephen, but you have to pick an animal for your pet. So I chose a lizard. Late 2 is lazy and doesn't move around a lot. We could play with that. You don't have to be lazy and not move around a lot.
But no,
be,
that
yeah,
slow methodical movement is definitely the kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Yui finds it calming how methodical Jill's is, because whether or not it's correct, Yui also sees Late 2 as methodical. Okay.
That's great. That is pretty wild. All right. And then finally, Jills, what is the bond that you have with Defshi?
So Defshi, I have down, there's just a juicy bond that I thought was great, which is there's a deep, dark secret that I know about you. What is your secret?
You've given me so many possibilities. What is my secret? I'm wondering if this is the kind of thing where I don't necessarily know this secret,
Ooh.
and maybe you know something about my family, or like that I don't maybe necessarily know or understand about my history, my past.
Why did you leave your family?
I think Defshi sees it as very much this, like, I had an opportunity, I went to move up in the world, I like this, the Zygarian contacted me, and so I saw this as, hey, this is an opportunity for me to get out and make money and explore the galaxy. And I'm picturing Defshi as coming from kind of a like disenfranchised family, like used to have money but doesn't anymore, kind of a thing. So that would kind of explain the like being used to kind of a lavish lifestyle just from having like the trappings of it, but not really knowing what to do with money.
Great. So, do you mind if I come up with this secret that I found?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So in reality, you have a sibling rival that manipulated you into leaving the family. The Zygarian gang tried to recruit them, and they decided that that was too risky. So what they did is they manipulated you, thinking that the Zygarians were going to recruit you, and that took your sibling, your rival's standing up in the family, because they were able to manipulate things and all that kind of stuff, so that you took the risk for them, and it's kind of a win-win. Either he got rid of a troublesome rival, or maybe you come back and you're rich and you can help with the family.
I love the idea. It was like a younger brother who wanted to like take my spot, kind of a thing, and convinced me to go off and explore. And I have no idea that they did this, or I'm.
And I think I came across this. I think, of course, I did background checks, like on all the crew members, right? And I came across this as like family member, and dug into, oh wait, there's a Zygarian reference here. Is this a problem? Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That's very good.
Perfect.
And then going back the other way, I have two that are very similar, but are different in how you kind of interpret them. So I wanted to kind of give you the option of both of these. The first one is Jills will never acquire any substantial degree of wealth, and I tell you why this is unacceptable. Or Jills is jealous of my wealth. Ask them why their jealousy eats away at them.
So I like the first one, and I'm going to say, you have insight into Jill's that Jill's likes the hunt more than the wealth that is at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you recognize something within Jill's. Jill's is like, I think Jill's actually wears trophies. Like there's some, necklaces and that kind of stuff, but these aren't worth a whole lot. These are sentimental in value. So it's one of those things. Jill's likes the objects that he finds due to the history and that kind of stuff. And the wealth part, he's not really pursuing that and doesn't really recognize that yet.
Yeah.
How's that?
And I think Daphne thinks that's unacceptable because I've seen the doors that money can open, and you're only making your life harder by doing this. And I don't like clock the journey is the challenge is fun part of it. And so I'm like, you're making this unnecessarily hard for yourself. Just pay somebody and they'll give you the thing.
Very cool.
That's great. That is great. Cool. So that seems to wrap up all of our bonds back and forth. As a reminder, one of the ways that you get XP at the end of the session is if you strengthen or weaken a bond. Mechanically, that means you push a bond, or if I tell you to strengthen or weaken a bond. Now, your bond doesn't have a numeric value. It has pluses and minuses. So it either goes from 0, which right now you've established these bonds so they don't have any pluses or minuses. You strengthen a bond, it becomes a plus. You just add a plus going from left to right. If you weaken a bond, you drop in a negative. You can have negative plus negative. That's perfectly fine. They don't cancel each other out. They just keep accumulating like tick marks on a sheet. Once you have 3 of one positive, 3 of a plus, or 3 of a negative, then it's something becomes permanent. You become a lifelong rival or pal. And Greg has requested to have one or the other for Yui, just as a note. That was a wish expressed in previous session. So in last session, you guys had decided to get on the Silver Dart and head off to search for the Kyber idol. And we, the audience, know that this is a tale of danger and deceit, but you're united in an overwhelming need for fame and fortune. And I would love to pick up with you guys on the Silver Dart 2, so named because the beautiful Naboo yacht that was the Silver Dart 1 was won in a few hands of Sabacc by Lando Calrissian. Khan derided Deshi for gambling away such a beautiful ship, mostly along the lines of when a guy wears a cape to a Sabacc game, you don't bet your ship, I think was one of the lines that was shared. Pieces of advice helpful after the fact, not really, but there you go. You guys had an interaction with the Cricket gang and paid them off so they wouldn't steal Deshi's stuff. You've loaded all of your things on the Silver Dart 2, received permission, as far as you know, from Tosley, Carnalus. Are we saying Carnalus or Carnalus? What do you prefer, Sam? You created the character.
I was pronouncing it like carnal.
Carnal? Okay.
Yeah, like Carnalus, but like
Carnalus.
From
Carnalus.
carnal. Yeah, like
carnal. Okay. Sweet. You received permission. Tosley did say to Khan, hey, after you're done with this thing, please come talk to me. I've got another little job for you. That was a complication that we threw on at the end with your mixed result there, Khan. And she fully accepts it. And then you left, and then we, the audience, saw that Tosley told one of her underlings to grab 5 and send them to follow the Silver Dart 2. And if Deshi turns on them and tries to keep this idol, that they are ordered to kill them. So we begin with you guys on the Silver Dart 2. Here's the question I have for Jills. Jills, were you on the ship the whole time? Were you a late arrival? Are you on a shuttle that like flies and docks with the Silver Dart 2? How do you appear in our movie?
I think I was hired at the last minute and arrived to the ship at the same time as the rest of them to join them during the transition. Who would I have been hired by?
The person with the money's Defshi.
That'd be a good tie. And I think I heard about the job and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Cool. So are you just already on the ship, or do you arrive on a small shuttle? What do you think? Or are they stopping off at some space station to pick you up?
Have they've already taken off?
We can say that, like, we'll post-production edit you in rushing aboard the Silver Dart before they leave Spaceport Triton Vespa, if that's what you like.
Yeah, so I think that what we see is I rush up onto the Silver Dart 2, and for rushing from Jills, that's a slow shamble, and it kind of mimics the same shamble that Late 2 has as Late 2 is getting on the ship.
Nice.
I think Yui is like prepping the ship for flight because that's probably one of his many duties. And it's like, oh, wait, everyone wait.
See a comment in the chat that made me chuckle a good bit. Thank you for that. Cool. The Silver Dart, a big, a light class freighter, but she looks like an ugly turtle. If the Millennium Falcon is a beautiful disc that slides through space, I think the Silver Dart is a lumbering turtle that maneuvers or plods through space. Now, you guys take a look at, oh, that's right. So Yui, you have the treasure map. It's been entrusted to you by Defshi. Let's open up with a scene with the four of you after Jills makes his way onto the ship. The four of you with Yui and the treasure map. So how
Yes,
do you
director.
reveal it? What's it look like?
I think Yui has like the hand, right? It turns into the probe that goes into the spaceport thing that all Star Wars computers are interfaced with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the Dejaric table, and there's a game of Dejaric on it that Yui is a little upset that he have to put aside. And then the whole thing kind of shows up as a cone, this big space map.
Nice. And who are you
Space
playing?
USB. It's exactly. Sorry. Yes.
Why? Who were you playing in Dejaric?
I'm happy to be playing any of the other player characters. If not, we'll have been
Yui
playing Late 2.
was convinced that they were winning, right?
Right.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Who wants to be playing Dejaric with Yui?
Jills is. Yeah.
Jills?
Definitely.
Okay.
Nice. So the map comes up, and what you see in this map is a temple, and the temple markings, it appears that it is a subterranean temple, and that a lot of the markings related to it are snake, like it's very snake themed. That is the first thing that you see. You also see notes that this can be found at the upon the Eye of Maldaunt. I'll type that into chat. And that none have returned with the Kyber idol, where the eye will not release its grasp. So,
I think this is maybe the opportunity for Defshi to be showing this to Jills and Khan.
Okay, I like that.
Because I think we kind of established that Defshi has seen this many times. I have the quote unquote the key to the map. I know where the Eye of Maldant is or what that means. But Yui doesn't, and I haven't told anybody, and I'm not going to tell anybody because otherwise they would just leave without me. Yeah, I think this is like Defshi's kind of leaning back on this chair, very clearly trying to look nonchalant, even though like it's very clear that it's kind of an awkward position. So I haven't figured out how to get past this, and I point to like the second room, and there's like it's very clearly like there's an entrance and it goes down, and then there's a big space where there's clearly like a trap or a missing like a secret door or something, and then there's nothing, and then the rest of the temple continues on. And I'm looking over at Jill's like, have you seen anything like this before? Do you know what we're talking about here? Because that's as far as I've gotten.
Well, usually maps are intact, so you can see what to expect. But whenever you get to an empty spot like this, you have to expect the unexpected. So we'll see whenever we get there.
You hear that, Defshi? Expect the unexpected. Good thing we hired him, huh? This is what he was always like. He was always like this. Oh, expect the unexpected. I'll figure it out. That's not how you crack a safe. That's not, you got to know what you're getting into. Every good treasure vault is like a safe. Every good score is a safe. You take it methodically, step by step. You know what you're getting into. You bring the proper hardware. In this case, me, Yui, I guess Jill's.
Great.
So you're saying that we should have hired Jill's and that was the right move.
You know, I turned myself around in there a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't had a lot of sleep. Jill's, it's good to have you on board.
Do you need to go take a nap? Is that what needs to happen right now?
You know, I would love to. It just seems like, you know, something was in my room and it's not there anymore. And I'm very curious about that. I've been looking for it for hours.
Did you perhaps leave it on the Silver Dart one?
No, this thing, you know, it's interesting you say that, Yui. It's interesting you say that because this thing that I'm missing in particular is for the Silver Dart 2. So it was here first. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Yeah, it's strange how these things happen. Anyways,
Perhaps you should be more methodical with your belongings.
You know, you're right. I forget that we should treat each one of our rooms like a safe from every other person. That's what you're suggesting, Yui, isn't it?
Of course.
A little distrusting, isn't it, Yui? A little shady is what some might call it.
I'm sorry. I'm sensing some friction here. Did I miss something?
You didn't miss anything, Defshi. Go on. All right, it was second room. Okay.
It seemed as if some bonds were pushed. Before we move on with the scene, I would like to engage that move. Khan, were you more interested in pushing the bond on Yui or towards Jill's? Because you start off with Jill's, but then redirected immediately to Yui's.
Well, listen, here's the thing. Khan pushes with everybody. I think Jill's, it's like past bond. So he's like, this is what it was like. I think Yui's the current thing that's really getting him up. So I think he's pushing with Yui.
Okay. Roll plus suave.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
Sorry. So the move requires that you are trying to
influence them. I think you're trying to get Yui to give up some information to fess up.
I think the move. Yeah, I'm pushing for Yui to admit where he put the thing. You know, whether it maybe he was cleaning up and he put it somewhere. You know, whatever. But Khan just wants to know what he did with it. Okay, so I'm rolling 2d6 plus 0. Oh, sorry. It looks like I lost connection to the.
Oh no! Refresh.
To the roll with me. That took me a minute to remember my character's name. That's embarrassing. All right, 2d6 plus 0. Hey, I got a 7. Wouldn't you know it?
Hey, fantastic. So on a 7 to 9, you pick one and the GM will pick the other. Although I think I'm a director, so I'll pick the other. They do what they do what you want, or they don't do what you want them to not do, and you get a 1 XP. You or they take +1 forward, you or they take -1 forward. Inflict 1 party harm and say why.
Oh man, just rolling and just beating up the party by pushing bonds. How fun. I think I'm going to give Yui a -1 going forward.
Ooh,
Because Khan's onto his business, so maybe Yui's on edge a little bit.
Harsh. I love it. And I think I am going to. So the 10 plus is how you strengthen the bond, and then on a miss is where you weaken the bond. Interesting. Okay.
So a 7 to 9, no changes.
There are no changes to the bond unless you have a fail or a full success. But I get a choice still. And I think you're giving a -1 forward to Yui. I am going to say that Yui, if you choose to fess up, you will gain 1 XP.
Oh, you okay. So you're choosing they do what they want, or I don't do and Kane gains an XP.
Oh, you're right. So then
Yeah. Okay.
You're right. It's the roller who gets an XP if they do. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm used to giving the player who's being manipulated the carrot, and I misunderstood. So sorry about that. You're correct. I am saying that if you fess up, Khan gets an XP. Not that entices you, but that's what I'm choosing.
Yeah. No, I hold on to my little thing. Like, I think Yui might tellingly pat the compartment where he stored the data crystal. But no, Yui doesn't fess up.
Doesn't fess up. Okay. Hold on to it.
You need to be more careful with your belongings.
Yui, do you want me to face him?
No, not now, Late 2. Not now.
Understood.
Perhaps Late 2 should be answering to somebody other than Yui. Perhaps Defshi, yeah, you're the boss of this operation. This droid's trying to space me. You gonna do anything about this?
The last time I tried to do that, he pointed a gun at my head. So I'm not gonna try and tell him what to do.
Yui leans over the dessert table. Late 2 doesn't know where the airlocks are. It's okay.
Oh, very comforting.
Yeah, just wait till you go to the refresher. Okay. That was a fun little scene. Thank you all much. So Sam, for Defshi, you've been a little hesitant to reveal destination. Are you planning on plotting a course directly, or are you hoping to get near? What do you want to do?
I think we still need something, and I know Jill's talked about having the key a second map or instructions on how to build something, and I probably hired them on because I knew we are going to need a key, or we're going to need some sort of tool to get into the final chamber, and that they know how to get the thing or make the thing. Does that track with what you were thinking, Stephen?
Yeah. So actually, I think that this Kyber idol is probably a component for something else, like a holocron or something like that. So I think that the key to actually use the Kyber idol is going to be something else that we'll need to stop off and get.
Yeah, and so I think there's a stop part of the way there. So let me look here.
You could stop in. Well, Arda is a planet that's secretly under the control of the New Republic, but ostensibly neutral. And then Felucia is this backwater, humid jungle. Those are both on the way, but you could also go way out of your way to any place that looks interesting to you, because we can do the dotted red line to it, and by gosh, we're going there.
Yeah, I feel like backwater jungle planet sounds like the perfect place to pick up ancient relics.
Awesome. Its primary agricultural export is the valuable crop Miscellin, which is largely farmed by the native Felucian tribes. It's an important strategic location along the Perlimian trade route, once made it a major battleground in the Clone Wars. So we do the star wipe, and the silver Dart 2s coming down and landing. You have the little legs that pop down as you guys come down in one of the spaceports in Felucia. I'm going to ask Jills, the last time that you were here at this as yet unnamed by a spaceport on the planet of Felucia that is located in the depths of the jungle, the last time you were here, were you why did you leave suddenly? Were you chased, or were you avoiding trouble, or some other event that you wanted to make sure you weren't here for?
Yeah, I was here to pick up a relic. I was here to pick up. It's actually like a what's the right word? A marriage amulet that was used by the Felucian natives, and I slipped in to the burial ceremony for the emperor and empress, or the the leaders of this village, and took the amulet because it belongs in a museum, right?
Of course.
And but I was made. They didn't know I'd done anything, and they kind of rushed into the mausoleum, into the burial chamber, and I ran away, right? So they might be holding a grudge.
You stole a marriage amulet. That is great. I mean, steal,
Well,
maybe.
steal is a sensitive word.
Sure. Felucians are a short reptilian species. Just as a heads up, they have thick legs and four-fingered hands, elongated heads with reptilian faces, not unlike that of a tortoise. You guys land here at, we'll call this place Sugaton is the name of our spaceport. I'll drop that into so Jills, then you are aware, that's right, this is why you were hired on, you're aware of the next piece in this key, where whatever this Kyber idol is, it's part of some device, and you're aware that it's here on Sugaton.
So back in the day, during the Clone Wars, the Empire was trying to put together some of these artifacts in order to build, well, basically a weapon. And we've since seen the destruction that weapon can cause, but they weren't able to use this piece. This piece was successfully defended, and it kind of got written off the books. They were pursuing other things. So I think that's why I know it's here, because I've been perusing the old, Empire records, that this piece was lost during a Clone War battle that happened here. So I think this will be searching the battlefield and searching the remnants of what might have been taken off and used by the natives.
Ooh, so you're looking for an old battle, and then you're going to search the the battlefield and the ruins there. That sounds really cool. Yui, were you active during the Clone Wars when these battles took place?
Yes, Yui was activated in the middle of the Clone Wars. You know, there's been some memory wipes since then, but with enough, careful programming and some assistance from Late 2, I've been able to access some of those older memories.
Nice. Cool. Then we'll say then you were active during this battle on Felucia. It was near Sugaton, and at a small, we'll say the battle that took place was near a series of Niceland farms, because that is the primary crop that they produce. Call it Akira. Is the Battle of Akira is what we had. So how do you guys travel? Do you imagine that this is walking distance? Do you have a speeder that you're all taking? Do you take off out of the Silver Dart after getting some information in like a montage sequence?
I was thinking the scene of like Deshi going to the locals and trying to like hire a vehicle or a cab, and essentially like it's the four of us in basically the back of a big cart.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Are we imagining that it's a speeder, or is it one of those like I'm imagining that, like the Book of Boba Fett on Tatooine, where it's a droid that is pulling a cart that you guys are in?
Yeah, I figured it was basically big farm equipment. Like normally they'd be hauling crops in this big cart, and instead we're taking it on the way back to the farm.
Oh, that's great. I'm quickly looking up what Niceland is. It is a healing herb. Oh, interesting. Okay. Good deal. So you have a Felucian farmer who is giving you guys a ride on this robotic farm equipment that's been converted to some kind of some kind of tractor that is pulling you guys in a cart. So I'm imagining that it's got like 4 treads, and there are those like triangle treads that like flop over, and it's pushing its way through the jungle on a different route. And the Felucian wears a pair of goggles as he looks at the 4 or 5 of you, right? I assume that you bring along your lizard-like assassin droid, Yui. Yui, do you sit in Late 2's lap in this?
Yeah, sure, why not? Although I think Yui is also like looking around because, vague memories of this place.
Yeah, vague memories. What side was Yui on?
Oh, definitely the Confederacy of Independent Systems, of course.
Great. CIS.
Their proper name, of course.
Sweet. As you guys are moving through the jungle, you see a number of weird animals flying through the air, and the Felucian, who is your your pilot, your guide, your driver, he leans back. So you are interested in the battleground? Tourists, huh? Tourists? Didn't know there would be tourism for a battleground.
Tourists of a type. We have an interest in the history and the things that we might find there.
Well, you see,
Maybe more pilgrims of a type.
That's a much better word for it.
you're coming to live here?
Oh, no. Just a visit.
See, it all started when Hondo and a group of raiders came down and took over one of our villages. Some of those Jedi came and freed everyone, but once word got out about the Niceland, now the CIS, they had to have it. It was a pretty ugly battle. Lost a lot of people, a lot of Felucians.
I'm sorry to hear that. Uwe looking very awkward.
Yes, Yui is shifting uncomfortably in Late 2's lap.
You just hear metal grinding on metal.
Late 2 pats the top of your head like an Ithorian might. Then I kind of like the idea of it opening up near a large, like, Amazon River sized river, and you see all of these husks, 30 years, husks of droids from the CIS that were used in one of those what are those wild, like, spider tank things from the Clone Wars? It's like
Spider
right
droids,
on top
right?
of her. Yeah, thank you, like a giant spider droid, like it's turned over and it's like halfway on a rock, and a couple of its legs are like pointing towards the sky. And you guys see the remnants of this huge battle. The bodies would all be long gone, but the carapaces of the droids are still here. Yui, what do you see? What do we see through your eyes?
I think there's Yui sees that like collapsed spider droid and remembers it like lumbering and but like retreating from this like clone troopers that just seem to be like coming out of the rocks, right? Like an infestation of clone troopers. And like it's running towards Yui very quickly in the memory, and then like a CIS, one of the droid starfighters just rakes across that line of clone troopers and takes them all out.
Oh, that's wicked. That's wicked. Jills, what is the turning point of this battle? Was it sheer numbers? Was there a strategic difference from your knowledge of the battle that took place here the last time you were here? What did you find?
What I found was that the Confederacy of Independent Systems was pulled away. They had ships in orbit that were going to overwhelm the clone troopers that were here. But during the battle itself, they got a message that there was something more important that they had to, there was another battle. So they abandoned the fighters here and didn't give them the backup that was needed. So that was the turning point, was the clone troopers, the Confederacy didn't get the backup that they were, the troop influx they were looking for. So the clone troopers were able to override them.
Nice. Cool. So the clone troopers won a hard-fought victory that they perhaps shouldn't have. Khan, as you witness this scene of devastation at this river, you see that the droid bodies, they've started to rust. And so you can see the river as it comes along as this like crystal blue river. And then once it hits this point, everything comes out orange and reds, like a sunset as the river passes through this particular area. And just past on the other side of the river embankment, you see that there are what appears to be an area where the jungle at one point was cleared, but it's over the years tried to creep back over. But you see dozens of clone trooper helmets like little fingers pointing up as a grave site was created for the lost.
I think seeing all this, Khan gets a little unnerved and a little irate. It's clearly so much time has passed, and so he so Jills, we're pilgrims. You really think what we're looking to pilgrim to is gonna be here?
Certainly. If you look at the lay of the destruction that's left, we can see that there was a defensive line here. And I think if we look behind that defensive line, we will possibly find what we are looking for.
As Jills kind of gives this instruction, Khan's going to turn his eyes to the horizon and he's going to take a look around.
All right. I am excited. When you need the information or clues, take a look around by rolling plus savvy, which we've already proven is your best stat.
Best stat.
You're definitely the person who should look around at all times.
Hey, it's an 8. 1 and a 6 plus 1 gives me an 8.
Expert tip: Defshy should be looking around because that would have been a 10. Anyway, when you need information or clues, take a look around. And a 7 to 9, you get to ask a question. What question are you interested in getting?
Let's see here. What here is useful or valuable to me?
Jills is right. If you can find the point where so let me check in, make sure I'm not flipping sides. Which side in the battle held this artifact that you guys are looking for? Was it
I
CIS?
think it was the Confederacy. Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking for the place where the CIS put up their last stand and were defeated. That is what would be useful or valuable to you. You can see that there's a point not far from the graveyard on the other side of the river that would suffice. And when you mention it to the Felucian, he says, "Oh, this is sorry, I can't traverse a river quite like that. I'm sure, though, if you want, just for a few extra credits, I could take you up the river. There's a ford. That's no problem."
You drive a hard bargain. Listen, it's on your way already. You can't bring us at least a little bit closer. Just it's on your way. We're not. I don't think that we're inconveniencing you that much.
Oh, let's see if you can sweet talk.
All right, so let's roll plus
Ooh,
suave.
you know what? You could also, don't forget, I've made arrangement. We've entered a city or town. We could
That is
cutscene
true.
here for you to do that.
That is actually kind of what I was talking through earlier, and I didn't remember.
Okay,
that
and I
actually
didn't
had
catch
I
it, and I
didn't
apologize.
remember that I had mechanics for it. But yeah, let's roll plus. We've moved past that. Let's roll just to sweet talk right now.
Okay. We could also say that he delivers you here. You've also made arrangements to deal with the river. But it's up to you if you'd rather sweet talk. I'm just eager for some cutscenes.
That is a 6. So if somebody wants to lend me a hand and maybe get that up to a 7, or we can see what the miss.
I'll lend a hand. I think as the conversation's kind of going on, I think Khan's a little less interested in continuing this ruse of pilgrims, so he's getting a little stern, and maybe tries to lean on the guy a bit when Defshy's pushing his sweet talking. So lend a hand when you aid one of your fellow adventurers in a task. Roll plus instinct. Okay. Instinct. Got 2 of that. Oh, baby,
You're very
I should be helping
instinctive.
everyone.
You
All
are the
right.
helper. You're born to help.
Well, let's don't count our chickens before they hatch. A 9. All right. So 4 plus 3 plus 2. That's going to give me, they get plus 1 to their attempt, but the director may hold 1 to create a complication as a result of your mistake. they do not have to reveal the complication yet.
I know.
Yes. And then my 7 to 9 is they'll do it, but they'll ask you to do something in return first.
He says, let me ask. I think he'll ask for just like some extra credits, right? If this thing breaks down, I'm gonna need some help with it. This is my last tractor, so if I lose it, I don't know. I see your clothes. You look like you can afford it.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
You've made your point.
So, the tank treads go in, sploosh into the river, and very soon the water rises and this thing continues plodding forward, comes to the point where the water's coming up along your hips, right? But he continues, he switches a couple of gears, you hear it kind of grind a little bit, and then it continues to the point where it gets to the city. He says, I hope you can hold your breath, friends. I hope you can hold your breath. As the tractor tank thing continues into the water, and you guys all get submerged, and with water rushing by, and the tractor's continuing to plod forward. And you see that there are more remnants of the battlefield here. You see broken. There's got to be at least a squad worth of the, I think, B1s, right? The Roger droids. And you also see that there are a few clone trooper bodies here that are little more than the husks of their armor, before finally the tractor starts coming up out of the water on the other side. Now, as it crests out of the water, you had that 30 seconds or so with the deepest part of the river where the water was pushing at you guys. And you, of course, couldn't see the sky above. But Jills, you and Yui both notice that when you crest back up to come towards the shore, that there's a large ship that passes overhead. The ship appears to be of Zygarian design. Looks like I've got a pic. I'll just throw the pic up for us to look at it. It is pretty large. So it's of course not in space. It is in air, in Atmo. But that is what the two of you pick out. It trails overhead and does not look like it's coming down to land, but something that you notice as you guys crest up, and you've reached this final part of the fight. Right? We see that there are several large droid carcasses. I'm trying to imagine the Clone Wars. What were some of the big droid contraptions?
I was almost thinking like one of the big Trade Federation landing ships.
Oh yeah, those like weird egg thingies. Am I remembering?
Yeah,
Am I
those are the
thinking-
like the centers of their starships. I was
They're
thinking
Linker Hulks, I
like
believe.
the little like H-shaped ones, like on Naboo that dumped all the droids out.
Oh, their landing.
Oh,
ships,
sweet. Yes, love it. Cool. So
I think Yui turns to Jills and says, I've got a bad feeling about this. Which is a move.
I love that we have that move.
Oh, I have a bad
If
feeling
something's
about this,
not
Jills.
right and you know it, roll plus instinct to figure out why.
Genius.
And just to pump up the station member, thanks for the -1 forward there. So I'm rolling flat.
You could have tried to do anything before this.
Yeah, why did you
That
do
is
stuff
a-
at lower stakes? And you do. No, I love it. This is perfect.
That is a 9.
So since you were
Um,
talking to me, can I help you?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, let's see if I can lend a hand. And I think what this looks like on screen is whenever we come up out of the water, we see the big ship, and I kind of reach over and grab a hold of Yui's head carapace there, and in Late Two's lap, and kind of point it up towards the Zygerian ship. Let's see what that roll looks like. 2d6, and this is with instinct.
Yes.
Okay. And I got an 8.
You got an 8. So that means you're involved in it, and it gives me another complication. This is delightful. I love this help move.
Yeah.
But it helps, and it pushes you to a 10, which means you get 2 questions, and you get a +1 forward if you act on the answers. See how I do that like pointy thing? I don't know why I decided to do that.
Okay, so I have a 10. Which one of us is in the most danger now?
Well, Zygerian, Defshi, Zygerian. It's Defshi.
It's Defshi. Okay. I will also ask, what have we not noticed yet? Feel free to frame that through Late Two as well.
Ooh, interesting. What have you not noticed yet? Yes. So you guys are looking upon the several craters, right? A few grenades went off here in a pitted part. And the craters, nothing has grown back. You see the broken roots. But a lot of the jungle has overgrown the top parts of this pitched battle. And I think Yui, as this happens, Late Two points out that they're on.
Be careful there. Munitions that have not exploded. Very dangerous.
Defshi.
Still like hacking and coughing up water. What?
Is there any other place we could go to get this instead?
Not in this sector.
Okay. There's
Look, it's right there. We're almost there.
Huey doesn't know whether to point out the mines or the Zygerians first, and just ends up not pointing out either, I guess. Zygerians and mines and
Yes, we're working for the Zygerians, and thank it.
They're here.
Oh, what are they doing here?
Don't look at me.
Looks at Kane. Is it Khan?
Yeah.
What deal did you make?
Well, not this. And if we didn't know to stop over here until Jill said it. I mean, they must have been tracking us. That's not a deal I made.
Oh boy, I knew I shouldn't have taken that junky ship. We had a faster ship, maybe they wouldn't have been able to track us.
I'm not gonna say I told you so or anything, but yeah.
If
What do we
you
do?
say I told you so, I will send you out of an airlock. Meatbag.
L2, there's no airlocks. We're on planet side. You can't just airlock people. All right, what are we gonna do?
You got meatbag.
Why? What? He wasn't even threatening you. He was threatening me.
Oh, well then that's fine.
Oh. Maybe we should send Late 2 out first and take care of the mines.
So near several of the munitions, you see the shell of a droideca. It actually looks like it was perhaps in good shape. But of course, time has caused a bit of rust to show. The droideca being one of the most powerful of the droids here. it appears that might be the best place to look for your item. So, Devshi, what does the receptacle for the Kyber trophy look like?
I was picturing like the old style, like weird pyramid holocron thing, but it doesn't have the centerpiece in it, so it's kind
Got
of
it.
opened up, maybe like a flat, almost like a flower looks, but it's this kind of mechanical pyramidal box.
Nice. Yeah, let's say that you see that buried in some muck and mire just past the munitions, with that droideca looking as if it made its last stand protecting it.
I think Defshi's gonna see it like, oh yeah, and like hop down out of the cart into the mud, and it's like ankle deep in muck, and it's just like starting to kind of try and push his way, feet getting like sucking out of the mud. And I'm looking for like a way around, like clearly these munitions are here, and there has to be a way to get to the other side. So I'm gonna try and take a look around, I think.
Okay.
And
That
see if I
sounds fun.
can't find a way around this thing.
You bet.
While everybody else is bickering in the cart.
Cart bickering. I
So
should
I'm
throw
gonna
some party harm at
roll-
you guys for bickering.
A roll plus savvy, which is +0.
Okay.
That's still a 9. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm going to ask, what here is useful or valuable to me?
Well, you've already seen what appears to be the pyramid, which is your goal. What's useful or valuable to you? You have some skill with droids. That droidica actually looks like it might be repairable. So that would be a thing that could be valuable to you. Of course, you'd have to reprogram it, and you know, do you trust Yui to pull that off? It's up to you to make it valuable. Mixed success there.
Yeah. I look at the droidica, and I look at Yui and Late 2. I'm like, hey, hey Yui,
Yes.
this droidica has a pretty big shield on it, and that might get us past the munitions. Do you think Late 2's core processor would fit in there?
Defshi, I don't know if you knew. I was around when droidicas were the thing. I think we're better with Late 2 as far as personality.
Well, I'm talking about putting Late 2's personality and let's be honest, general ineptitude when it comes to actually killing things in here, so that it won't.
Oh, I could try.
You hear this, Late 2? You were gonna space me for this guy? This guy's out here in the water insulting you. He's insulting you and your abilities. And you know what? He's right to say it. You're not impressive. Everyone says that.
Khan, now is not the time.
You have made the list, Khan.
Okay. Well, I can try. Okay. Just hold on, Late 2.
Yeah.
I'll extract the droid brain core from Late 2, I suppose. Whatever that looks like.
Late 2 like sits down so you can get access to its brain.
I'm almost imagining like the C-3PO, like you take the head off of it and like replace the heads, kind of a thing.
That's insane.
Yeah, okay. I've got Late 2's head now.
Yeah, and I've got plenty of instinct, so I'm gonna help you if you need it.
Good.
I think what you're trying to do right now is act under pressure to pull this off before there's any degradation of late 2.
Okay.
Does seem fair?
Okay. Further degradation of late 2.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that works. Plus quick. Hey, I think I'm okay at that. I'm
Yeah.
okay at that. All right.
You're the best at it. You're the quickest of them all.
And can I take +1 forward for knowing about the munitions
Yes.
or the
Yeah.
Zygarians? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're trying to circumvent the munitions. I'll
Yep.
give you that +1. So you're rolling +3. Oh my goodness.
There we go. Yeah, 13.
Well, 10 plus, you do what you set out to do. What does it look like as you place late
So I think,
twos? Yeah.
yeah.
How does that go?
Fortunately for us, the Droidica's like head processor had already been damaged and cleaved away in such a way that this operation is a whole lot faster than Yui thought it was going to be. So Yui's like, oh, yeah, it's a little bit easier than I thought. And then late two's eyes just immediately like, boo. And Yui's frightened for just 1 second as the Droidica arms all come up. And I think, I think a little bit of the Droidica's programming might actually go back into late two's brain a little bit. And maybe late two might be a little bit better at shooting people now.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Oh, yeah, okay. Haven't done this in years. Yeah, okay, there we go. And late two's up now with the dual twin blasters.
So we did the head thing. Are you imagining, just so I'm clear, late two's slightly bug-like head has now replaced the Droidica's head? So it
yes,
swivels
somewhere around where
around.
that like top hinge part is now a Forlom head. Yes.
So yes, the Forlom head swivels around, looks a little bit. There's a point where it kind of shudders with one particular movement.
This is an effective upgrade. Thank you, Ewing. I will be able to assassinate with even greater skill.
Oh, I think we should just assassinate the mines right now.
Yeah, target practice.
And the Droidica turns and starts firing on the munitions, and they explode out, throwing a bunch of like jungle dirt and mud everywhere. The Felucian throws his hands up and dives behind his tractor. Jill's, as this reprogramming of a droid is going on, what is it that you're doing?
So I think I'm just observing the path between here and where the component is. And I think whenever the munitions have exploded and it seems like it's safe, I'm gonna run through the minefield to try and grab it.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. So I think the best there is probably an act under pressure, unless you saw another move that you were aiming towards.
I
To
don't.
be
but I'm
here
gonna do
goes
this.
nothing.
Yeah, I'm basically. I think I'm going to do this kind of in a more dangerous way. So, like, right as stuff is landing is whenever I run through. Like the explosions have gone off, but all the mud hasn't landed on the ground yet. So, and I'm kind of taking a quick, leaping from place to place to try and get over there.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to do it. Here goes nothing.
Great. I love it.
Yeah, and that is plus instinct. Instinct is a 1. I got an 8. So that's a +2 forward, and the director will offer me a worse outcome, hard choice, or a price to pay.
Interesting. Okay. So you take a +2 forward, make another appropriate move.
Right. So I think that would
And-
be the act under pressure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I will say that your price to pay is you can pull this off, but you're going to take a bit of harm. Just make it a nice,
Okay.
simple, easy price to pay there.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, and that's a 6.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Does anyone lend a hand or?
Yeah, I'll lend a hand. I think that part of Defshi like pointing out this specific like patch of munitions was because it was the easiest path, and so that's kind of the like Defshi recognized this is the way to go, and it's like I know Jills is competent, so he's gonna try and go this way.
So you got his back. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Let's go ahead and have you roll instinct.
So that is +2, and that is a 9.
Nice. So I get another complication. I now have
get another
2
complication?
complications. I'm gonna start keeping a track of all my complications I get to throw your way. Cool. That pushes you to a 7 on
Yes.
the acting under pressure. So the director gives you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. I don't want to do harm twice. That seems very, very punitive and not fun. Does anyone have an idea for a worse choice here?
I do.
Yeah, what's that?
So let's say, for example, I think, what if this activates one of the droids, right? That opens up fire.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So I think the way this looks is, Jill starts. The munitions go off. The dirt and debris start raining down. Jill takes off through the munitions, tracing a route, and basically one of the munitions is slow and jumps, and that's when the explosion goes off. And this is sort of like the old grenade jumping in video games that pushes Jill's far enough that he can then get there, but that he took some damage from that, and he grabs the object. But when he grabbed the object, I think that activates one of the battle droids nearby, and we start seeing these laser bolts going off.
Yeah, that sounds amusing to me.
Wait, what? Breaks over?
And then blaster bolts fire out as a legless battle droid, B1 battle droid, starts firing at all of you guys. And I think my complication is I'm going to give you guys all some party harm as munitions go off, and one party harm will be handed out to the group of you as explosions at the battle graveyard, maybe? That's what we'll call it. But Jills, you have reached the final piece. I want to ask Khan or Defshi, how are you guys dealing with the battle droid?
I have an idea if unless Khan, you have
Oh, by all means.
Yeah. Defshi has this like incredibly ornate laser pistol that's very clearly looks like it has never been fired, and is he's like covered in like mud and muck because he was way too close to this explosion, but he's like pulling this pistol out of his pocket. It's slippery, it's sliding all over the place, and he's like wildly kind of pointing, trying not to hit Jills. But he is gonna kind of just react and try and shoot this thing.
Nice. I love it. Do it. Blast him. Let him have it.
Let him have it. That is with tough, which
It
is
is.
a -1.
You are not tough.
I'm not tough, and I think this is appropriate. That
I
is
am
a
so
2.
excited about our new late 2 2.0.
Late 2 is
2. 2.
1 plus
Absolutely.
2 minus 1. That is a 2.
That is a 2. Yeah, I think what that, by the way, that is just the best photoshopping I've seen in a while, Greg. That is miraculous and hilarious. And I've now put that pick in for the NPC tab for late 2. I think what happens, Stefshi, is you fire and the thing goes to full auto. You didn't, or no, wait, you were using your own weapon. You didn't pick up one of theirs, right? You have a
Yeah, I
blaster,
have
right?
this like little kind of
Sweet. So
ornate pistol.
yeah, you fire and you hit the thing in the side of the head, but then it fires up and takes out your tractor, which explodes. So your transportation just, but then you fire again, and it falls over and is dead, or inert, as it were. And then as soon as it falls, Lake 2 fires like blah, 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 just insult to injury, not at all effective in taking down the threat, but making sure it's down. It's definitely never coming back now. It is completely slag. But Jills, you have the triangle, you have the pyramid. What is before we cut to our bio break, what is Jill's reaction as you retrieve this artifact?
Yeah, so I think what it actually is what we see is like one of those Camtonos. It's the ice cream machine, like what we saw in Best. And what we see is Jill's opens it up, and it kind of, the sides kind of fold down, and inside it's this largish unfolded pyramid. Obviously, there's something that needs to go inside of it.
Sweet. And so then we'll cut to our bio break here. So this will be our midpoint break. Here we go. Okay, we're back. You guys have retrieved you have retrieved the pyramid, the holocron casing, and unfortunately the Felucian driver no longer has a ride to get you back. So I'm imagining this isn't a challenge we'll deal with dice, but perhaps it is an opportunity for 1 or possibly 2 cutscenes as you guys make your way back to the spaceport so that you can reboard the Silver Dart 2 and make your way to the planet where you can find the Kyber idol. So, does anyone have a cutscene that they are interested in sharing with the group, or shall I prompt someone?
Are these cutscenes just like narrative? We just narrate what happened during that cutscene?
Totally. Yes, it is borrowed from Escape from Dino Island, so it can be a cutscene. We're not mechanically saying that it enables you to pass a roll. We're just narratively saying these cutscenes can happen during your travels back across the river back to the spaceport without the tractor. Does that make sense? Is that a fair answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got a cutscene. I'll try. My cutscene is a very close call. And what this is I think we're all running, of course we're on foot now, and we're all running back to the Silver Dart 2. And I think not the Felucians. The Zygarians. They're basically, the Zygarians have come after us, and I think they're firing on us, and we're running back into the Silver Dart 2 to try and escape from them. And this flashes back to when the Felucians were, in this same, area. They were chasing me back to my ship after I'd stolen that relic. And, I just barely made it on. And, as we started to take off, there were, shots and, hitting the shields of the ship and kind of bouncing off a little bit and all of that.
I like it. That's cool. Nice. You guys make it back on board the Silver Dart 2. I am curious if anyone else, as you guys are leaving the planet of Felucia to go to the next.
Or this cutscene could actually even be before that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It
Just
could.
kind of as a flashback. I didn't want to like end it for anyone.
Yeah, I had a cutscene, and I also wanted it to kind of be on Felucia, but
Okay, so it's on.
Yeah,
You guys make it back to the spaceport.
yeah.
You
I
for now
think-
have evaded the Zygarians. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think mine is kind of simultaneous with Jill's. It's we're like running through the forest. Mine is a friend you haven't spoken with in years, and so it's this kind of flashing back and forth between Defshi running through the forest covered in mud, getting and cuts to two children like running through a sunlit forest, laughing and joking. Both of the kids are in like torn up, beat up clothes. They're very clearly happy, and then it swaps to Defshi in all this finery, looking miserable and beat up and cut up and like stumbling over tree branches and panicked, and then back to the children, and they're laughing and like throwing rocks at each other and kind of joking, and it cuts to Defshi getting shot at, and just kind of back and forth with this kind of childhood flashback.
Oh, that's cool. May I ask for just one like detail to insert there? That be Defshi's younger brother, who's the one who.
Oh yeah, that's great. Perfect.
Cool. And can we name that, or could you name that?
Yeah, I'll look up a name. I don't have a
Awesome.
name on
Perfect.
the top of my head.
That is great. Thank you. Oh man. So now you guys have made it to the spaceport. You're nearing the ship. Does Yui or Khan have especially Khan, because you haven't done a cutscene before?
Yeah, I got one. Kind of, we're loading up into the ship. He sees Jill's holding the Camtono, sees it open up on the Dejeric table, and he just sees an empty pyramid. And he just has this look of dejection. This is what we got. This is the score here. And it cuts to a flashback of the greatest score he's ever made. And it was at the peak of the Galactic Civil War. War creates instability. Instability creates openings. Openings lead to safes. Khan had made a killing in the Galactic Civil War, being hired by Imperial intelligence officers, going rogue, and accessing the Moff of the Sector's personal vault. It was filled with priceless artifacts, artwork from dejected planets, wealth hoarded from the Sector. He got a tiny cut. He's always looking over his back for those intelligence officers, but it wasn't even about what he made in there. Getting through that security, getting through that Imperial security, and seeing the vast wealth held in that vault, that was the treasure. That was the nugget. And so he looks again at this empty pyramid, this single empty case, and he just doesn't know what he's doing with these people anymore. Shakes his head. This better be worth it.
Do you mind if Yui has one?
Oh yes, please.
So it's around the same time, I think, as Khan is looking at the holocron, Yui gets his first look at it too. And while Khan is lamenting that this, like, what we've got, like a gold cage thing, Yui sees it, and it's a millisecond after that flashback he had of the battle, that starship comes in and it starts to do that raking fire across the clone troopers, and then we see a lightsaber and a Jedi holding up a full power, like an holocron, and it's glowing, and the starfighter gets crushed, twisted, and thrown into pieces on the ground, as Yui remembers that what he really wants to be when he grows up is a Jedi.
He really wants to be a Jedi. That's so great. Oh, that's just fantastic and problematic in the best ways. So good. The four of you aboard the Silver Dart to take off from Defshi, you don't have to cutscene, but I am curious, how did you handle the poor Felucian ex-farmer and his loss of his tractor?
I kind of wanted to have a what's the move? Procure equipment
Ooh,
at
yeah,
some point, and just but maybe it's as we're getting shot at, promising that we'll send supplies back to him, and he's yelling at us as the Zygarians are firing on us, and we're running back into the ship. But as we're traveling to the next thing, I think as part of the procuring equipment, you see me haggling with some farm vendor to deliver this tractor to whatever spaceport this is. I forgot the name of the spaceport.
I think I called it. I stuck it in the map thing.
Sujatan.
Yes, thank you. Yes, delightful. And so you've been talking to effectively Space John Deere person, yeah, to try to get the new space tractor for them. You're a man of your word, though. You're an individual of your word, and that's good. They will not sing curses of your name. Cool. Cody, are you still? Yeah, it looks like you're frozen. So
I'm back.
Okay, you are back.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Saw the comment there. Sweet. So the Silver Dart 2 takes off from the Felucian's spaceport, and yeah, I'm curious, Defshi, you've wisely held it close to your vest, the ultimate destination. How are you planning on getting to this area where you believe the idol to be without revealing it?
I think at this point it's we've gotten all the way here, we're getting ready, and Khan goes up to enter the goes up to the cockpit to get us going to the next destination. And you're like, okay, where do we go? And then we have the stereotypical set a course for Stenos and then star wipe to the
nice. Cool. So you set a course for Stenos. Stenos, Stenos, is in our Zinj's Empire tab. It's down on row 67. It is entry 35. Stenos was a planet located in the Spaja sector of the Outer Rim, homeworld to the Stynax race. And friends, if you were not aware of the Stynax race, I don't blame you. I didn't find out until, when we were doing the Arda 2 stuff. But the Stenos, I can see Cody's excited already because Cody knows. They are demon-looking people, man. Fierce, ill-tempered, brooding, and violent race from the planet of Stenos. They fanatically follow the dictates of their god Vol. They were responsible for something known as the Stynax massacres, which killed countless millions. Despite their violence, they remained a very spiritual people. I love that little throw in at the end on the Wikipedia entry for the Stynax. They are terrifying. So, yeah, I am curious how, Khan, you know about Stenos, right? You've heard of such things. How are you handling the reveal that that's your next destination? Especially after that last cutscene where we doubt if you want to be doing this anymore.
I think Khan knows of Stenos and the Stynax as almost like a folk tale growing up. People say, hey, you better keep your nose out of trouble because the Stenacs are just around the corner, man. They can come at any time. And there's that combination of like that reputation, and he thinks it's ridiculous, whatever, nothing to worry about. And then the thought of, if that's these people, what treasure are we finding there?
Mhm.
You know, they're
Mhm.
spiritual people. They're not members of the imperial empire. Like, what cache are we gonna find there? And he looks again, that empty triangle, and he just is like, one last job, I can find something better. The Zygarians got me. They got something good in store for me. So it's a little, it's dispelling the dark spirits of the idea of crossing Stenacs and the thought of doing it for nothing. But
Cody, freeze for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang it. Dang it, technology. Be better. Okay. We will continue on. Hopefully things will clear up for Cody. Once this is revealed to the rest of you, does anyone want to have a conversation about your final destination as you're headed to the Stenos system? Okay, if not, I just wanted to make sure I made space for that.
I had one, but I want to do it with Cody.
Ah, dang it. Okay. Wait.
Oh, wait. Cody's back.
Cody's back.
I'm back. Where do we freeze?
You described just one more job. He was doing that mantra. Khan was doing that mantra of like, just one more job, just one more time.
All right. Yeah, that was where I left off, was just one more job. And then the Zygarians have something lined up for me. And then I muted myself, and then everyone froze for me. So that's where I was. I was like, yeah, I guess I did say something pretty cool. You guys are thinking about it for a while. Yeah,
It was so good. We were really stumped and amazed, wowed even. Cool. Greg, you'd said that Yui may want to approach Khan at some point before you guys reach Stenos.
Once again, having Khan distracted by us flying into Stenos, Yui was gonna take that little data cylinder he has of one of Khan's hiding spots and go see what Khan has hidden from the rest of the crew.
Well, I think this should be a two-part thing of you sneaking in and trying to steal a thing, and then Cody gets to tell us what it is that you may find, if that's okay with you, Cody.
That's
small
good.
feet, small sound. When attempting to escape notice, roll plus quick.
That is a +2. That is a 10.
Wow. On a 7+, describe how you've gotten an advantage, and you hold 1 to use for a +1 to a future roll regarding that action.
So I was under the impression that these like aren't necessarily in Khan's quarters. Is that correct? Like these hiding holes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is one that's maybe on the lower level, closer to where I'm living. And Yui like turns the little cylinder against a bolt and it opens up.
It opens up, and inside you find it has to be a treasure chest. This is exactly what you're expecting. Here it is. Proof. Wealth. It's a small, foot long by 6-inch chest made of steel.
I knew it. And Yui closes it up. Oh gosh, is now the confrontation? No. We hold.
It's the dangling plot thread of the series is the when will Yui. It's good. I'd love to see, maybe not necessarily a cutscene, but I'm curious, what is Jill's, because Jill's carries around a lot of trophies. So what has Jill's done to his room?
Oh, that's interesting. So I think Jill's has basically gone back to his room, and he's decorated his room, but it's very utilitarian to a certain extent. I think there's a hollow reader, and then there's a number of hollow chits that you can feed into the reader, and they're all over. And it's sort of like a library. And he goes up and he pulls out the chit for Stenos, right? And plugs that in and starts doing some research for, hey, what do we know about Stenos and what's going to be there whenever we get there?
Ooh, interesting. In a way, it sounds like you're using that to take a look around, maybe?
Let me see. I could do take a look around, or I could do search for information in the transition scenes.
Oh yes, let's do a transition scene. Oh, thank you for that. I love it. That is fantastic. So you and another character search for information in library, archaeological dig, cemetery, or the like. One of you narrate a cutscene regarding the task, and one of you roll savvy. So you got to pull another player into this.
I'll happily join the scene. Yeah.
And I think that once you revealed to us that we're going to Stenos, that's whenever I pulled you aside so that we could look into it and see what I knew about Stenos. And narrate a cutscene. Do you have a cutscene you'd like? This is one of the actual cutscene kind of things, right?
Yeah, this is an actual mechanical cutscene. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you have one that's maybe like how you got the library, but I could do one, but I want to give you the opportunity.
Why don't you try one?
Yeah. I think that this like hollow library reminds me. I have one that is wisdom you received from a grandparent, and so maybe there's this like flashback to me in a more elaborate but less full library, like hollow library with one of my grandparents, and they're like pulling down these little vids, and they're telling me the grand history of my the family that I'm part of, and like talking about all the wars that we were a part of, and the victories, and all this like grand history. And I think this old Mirialan woman like holds my hand and says, "You are from a powerful people, and don't forget that."
Interesting.
Very cool.
Thank you for that. And then the other person will roll plus savvy.
Okay, so my savvy's flat. So let me roll that. But I got a 6.
Okay. Yeah, you can. Lend a hand. You two are right there.
Let's roll to help. And I think I'm like pointing things out because I've kind of figured this out before. Yeah, so that's an 8.
That's another pocket for you, Rich.
That's another complication for you.
Okay, so I get a complication on the help, and then on a 7 to 9, actually, it's a different set of. You still get the questions, but then you tell the director which one of the following also occurred while you're searching, and there's 3 options there. So ask your question first.
Can I real quickly narrate how I helped?
Yeah. Oh, please! I'm so sorry. I should have asked that.
No. I just had an idea. I think Jill's is like pulling down information about the planet Stenos and all this other stuff, and then I have this like really shit-eating smile on my face, and just like, we're not actually going to Stenos, and I take the map and rotate it around, and the eye, like there's you remember the comment was it's in the eye of Stenos. And there's a huge crater on the moon of Stenos that when the light is hitting it, looks exactly like a giant eye staring at the planet.
Nice.
Very cool.
That's a great help. Thank you for that. That's awesome. You took a thing I offered and you made it so much cooler. That's awesome. Now, Jills, you may ask your question.
So I'm going to ask one question, and I'd like for Defshi to ask the other, since we were both doing it. And I'm going to say, what's the history of this moon, or something like that?
Hold
Or
on a
what's-
sec. Hold on. I think on a 7 you get one question, right? Because you
Okay.
rolled a 6 and you got help to push you to a 7. So it's just one question. I just want you to know, because I didn't want you to feel like you got cheated out of the question.
I think that's a good question. I would be okay with that one.
Yeah.
Ask again, because I was very freaked out when you thought you had 2 questions.
Sorry. What is the history of this moon?
Awesome. Thank you for asking this question. You have revealed one of my complications. The history of this moon is that for the history of Stenos in the imperial records, this moon has been off limits because there is an extreme amount of electromagnetic radiation, which futzes with all equipments and attempts to scan, and all imperial shuttles and ships that they have sent to the planet have lost power, and they've lost all communication with those folks and have never been seen again. That is the history.
Awesome. So next part is I tell the director which one of the following occurred while I was searching. And how about Sam, if you take that one?
Ooh.
It has to be someone noticed us, like they, as we kind of scan out, there's the little like beeping tracker beacon on the side of the ship.
Yes, I'm imagining that the tracker beacon. Oh, so initially my first thought is, oh, the Zygarians, they chase you guys, but they actually know about the Silver Dart 2 and they put a tracker beacon. But someone in a cutscene handed me this delicious nugget. And so we see that there's like a little imperial symbol on that tracking beacon. And we cut to because in this game there's supposed to be like a transition scene type deal where the GM can do a thing. By the way, I just want to mention this so I don't forget it again. Sam, you mentioned doing procure equipment, and I didn't actually catch that was a transition scene. So we should probably have you roll savvy, because I don't think we actually rolled for it. Like I think I steamrolled over that bit. So I just made the joke about John Deere, so I didn't catch that. But yeah, transition scene, we see a woman in an imperial white uniform of the ISB, and perhaps we, the audience, find that her name is, oh yeah, I think we're gonna go with, yes, I love this name, Kiara Graves. Lieutenant Kiara Graves. And the signal comes up and she sees that the Silver Dart 2 is headed to Stenos and that they're doing research on the moon. And she says, oh Khan, I have you now. Cool. So Jills and Defshi, the two of you have discovered this information on Stenos 3, which is all that they've bothered to name the moon of Stenos. I'm sure it's some pre-imperial, it was given a different name, but that's what they call it in the imperial records. What do you do?
That's fantastic. Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for Defshi to go and kind of start unpacking all the boxes that he brought. And I think this is a kind of our stand-in for the procure equipment move, which
Love
is
it.
just like we're like as we're pulling out of hyperspace, I'm unloading these boxes and kind of showing off the things that I already bought, quote unquote. Because I'm going to spend cash to get a 10+ on the move.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I think the as we're like pulling out, it's mining equipment. It's this is what I bought with all the backing that I got from the Zygarians. It's these big kind of almost like industrial like suits that asteroid miners would wear, because it's like, okay, I know that the moon has no atmosphere, so we're going to be down there in this space, like pulling out all these like ship welding uniforms and stuff to get through metal doors, and I've got these kind of like rebuilt spacesuits almost for us.
Nice.
Do I get one?
And I have like a little welding torch that I give you.
Oh, cool.
You don't need to breathe, so I didn't get you a whole suit, but this will probably be useful.
That's so cool.
That's adorable and kid-like, and I love it. So I am curious. Maybe Khan being the pilot. Do you give Khan the heads up that you're not going to Stenos itself, and that also the rumors of the moon? I'm curious about that one.
I don't know that I would necessarily like. I think the rumors are kind of overblown. I definitely tell them we're going to the moon and keep an eye out because weird things might happen. But I'm confident in your abilities as a pilot, and I'm sure you can get through anything.
All right, Khan. So you know where you're supposed to go. What's the plan here?
Fly right to it. I'm not a pilot. I behind the the controls, I'm okay. So it's always simple. It's direct. It's never fancy with Khan at the wheel.
You're not an ace.
Yeah.
You are functioning. Cool. And then the Silver Dart 2 comes out of hyperspace, guides through the system where Stenos is located. I think it's called the Spaja sector, but I do think that the Stenos system makes sense. It's got its own. Yeah, there's a system, Stenos system. So you head past its sun. We have some cool, like, was the glare, like lens flare, lens glare kind of stuff going on as you guys pass by the sun, and then you're headed towards that moon. The moon looks like it's under the shadow of Stenos itself. And Khan, all of your scans are coming back just fuzzy. You can't dial in. You can't see what's ahead of you. What do you do?
Can I have a short scene with Khan?
Oh, please.
So I think after we figured out what's going on with Stenos' moon, I go up to the front deck. So as we come out of hyperspace, I start telling Khan, no, we shouldn't go directly to the moon. We should go this way in a roundabout way to hide our tracks. And I'm actually going to try and push you to do what I say.
Ooh, push a
perfect.
bond?
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Lovely.
Does that sound okay?
Yep. Love it.
Great. So I'm a backseat driver, right?
Yes, exactly. And is Khan in the mood for your nonsense or not?
Oh, and this is with Suave, so that's -1. So let's see what that looks like. I got a 9 with my -1.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Oh man, if only you lend a hand to someone trying to push you to get to where we would actually move the needle. Dang.
I could lend a hand.
I was gonna say I could see a certain droid sitting up there and being very happy to tell Khan what to do.
Yeah, do what Jill says. I think Jill's has been to the moon before. Even though Jill's is definitely not. Let's see. That's plus instinct, correct?
Yep.
Okay. That is a 7. Complication in your pocket.
Yes, more complicated. Put that in my packet with all the others that get nice and gushy warm.
And I think the way Yui actually phrases it is, well, if you don't want Jill's to help, I could always get late to plug into the navigational computer for you.
Lay2 just figured out how to shoot a blaster. They're not gonna know how to navigate a starship. Just y'all need to be quiet.
Okay, so on a 10 plus, Khan chooses one from the list, and then I pick one and strengthen the bond between us.
So I will pick from the list. I will pick that Khan does what you want. I think with all of the chatter, it's just easier if he just does what everybody's yelling at him to do, because at least then you'll be quiet.
So that means I get an XP.
I think so, yes, because he did what you wanted him to do.
The way that it reads, because the or is bolded in that move, it really makes me think it's they do what you want, period. Or they don't do what you want and you get 1 XP for trying. But that's
yeah, I actually rephrased it because it was confusing me. So maybe I should go back to the original text. The original text sounded as if it was trying to phrase for you telling someone to do a thing or to not do a thing.
Yeah, on a miss, well. So on a miss, the GM picks one, you weaken the bond between you, then ask the other adventurer why they're upset at your request. But then there's the options. They do what you want. Did I just get dropped again?
You're here. Undish is here.
Hi, Undish.
Super early. Undish came in early, thinking it was an hour ahead. Oh, time zones. Anyway.
But yeah, in the PDF I'm looking at here, they do what you want, and then or is bolded and italicized. They don't do what you want, and you get 1 XP. And then it's you or they take +1, you or they take -1.
That makes so much more sense. That's
right, because it's like I'm really trying to get a thing to happen, and if they don't, well, at least I'm rewarded for failing on it. But I also get what you're saying, because traditional games, when there's manipulation or mind control or whatever, you give them an XP for having to accept this change. So I understand why we were reading it that way.
I feel better. Thanks for I'm joking. I'm just being an ass. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. They'll accept it, so they do it. No, it's the bond one. Push a bond. They do what you want, or they don't do what you want, and you get it. Oh, okay. The bolding of or does get me to understand where that makes sense. I'm changing it to that.
It's almost as if they needed a sub bullet that said either, you want, or you don't, and you get an XP. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, especially since you're choosing one of the two anyways. Yeah, that is interesting.
And I also get a choice, which I think I'm going to pick that Khan gets +1 forward.
Mm-hmm.
And this can either be because you're getting all the good advice from the backseat drivers.
Exactly. Yep.
If we go past the driving stuff, it can be you're just trying to prove us wrong, right? You're trying to show you. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
I improve our bond.
Yes, you strengthen the bond between you. And I was just thinking the question you're about to ask, which is, do you both do it? I'm going to say yes, even though that may not be the intent of it, just because we've had so little of this. And we only have 4 sessions. I think in a longer game, it's okay to not have that firing all the time, but I want it fired. Good. Cool. So let's get back out of the move talk, and your plan was to motivate Khan to hold off, not rush straight into the moon.
Around a different direction, not go directly towards the moon where the people on Stennis might detect us. Let's go around from the other side where we might be not as detectable.
Okay. To be clear, Stennis 3 is by far the smallest of the 4 moons around Stennis. It is it's like, oh shoot, Scarif, like Scarif sized, if you guys remember Rogue One. Like that was a small ass planet. So it it is a moon. It does appear to have atmosphere. It does appear to be somewhat green and blue. So it does, from the naked eye, appear to have life on it. Unfortunately, due to whatever interference is going on with that moon. You can't get any readings off of it. But yeah, you can attempt a different approach to make sure that no one from Stenos clocks you going that way, if you would like.
I would like that. It's good advice from Jill's in the can, so he's gonna follow it.
Sounds good. So
this is what, probably acting under pressure, or
I think it is going to be act under pressure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling plus quick, and then I have a +1 forward. My quick is 1, so I'm going to be rolling +2. An 8.
All right. On an 8, the director will give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. So you can avoid notice.
Mhm.
But to avoid all Imperial notice, because Stenos is ostensibly under Imperial control, you're going to need to fly blind into the moon, which leads to the complication of you guys are going to lose power, and the Silver Dart too.
It's definitely that. Khan doesn't want to, he wants to prove himself. Oh, we're not going to get detected by Imperials, and I do know what's best. I'm flying into that storm.
Nice.
Hoisted on my own petard.
Sweet. So you fly into atmosphere, and as soon as you pierce the shell, the atmosphere of Stenos 3, as it is called, the Eye of Eye of Montauk. We see lightning, like electricity, leap up onto the consoles, and systems start failing immediately. You hear a couple of klaxons go off, warning alarms, and then they're gone, and one of the engines goes out. Let me cut to Jill's. As you guys enter atmosphere heading towards the moon, what are you doing when all of this starts happening and the ship is losing power?
So I think the ship's starting to lose power. And again, I'm going to lean into the backseat driver. As systems start to go down, I start turning off systems.
Okay. Is the goal with turning off the systems to cause them to not short out? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's just to protect them. And I think it's the needle con just a little bit.
I didn't do this. This isn't me. This shouldn't be happening.
Nice. So Defshi, Captain Defshi, what is it that you're doing as you guys start to crash into?
I love the image of Defshi in like a secondary seat in the cockpit, just like hyperventilating and panicking as is going on, and as things are like sparking and flashing, and you see Defshi just kind of like eyes roll back in his head and passes out.
Awesome. And so we will end the session with the ship's second engine going out, and you guys basically being a big rock hurtling towards the moon of Stenos.
I just want to say that Yui has taken on the role of letting everyone else know that the ship is crashing, because obviously no one else would know, and is blasting his air horn as he runs through the corridors.
Oh, air horns. I love it.
Because, the alarm system is down now, so Yui is taking the out.
Sweet. And I think the last thing I'll like slip in is that you let off the air horn, and then Late 2 comes in, grabs you with this big droideca hands, and like puts you in, then rolls up into a little ball. And then that's the last thing we see, is the ship is obviously hurtling to its demise, and you're all going to die. That's how we would end this cliffhanger. Cool. Let's quickly go through our end of session stuff. We have at the end of episode. So mark one experience if you crossed off a cutscene, everyone. Mark one experience if you resolved your motivation. Did anyone resolve their motivation? I don't think so, but I wanted to check in. Did anyone? Okay.
Not me.
And then for the two people that strengthen bonds, you get an XP as well. And no one made a lifetime pal or rival. You did not defeat the villain. And so the last thing is for the XP related stuff, it looks like we have what 2 for a few of you and 1 for a few of you. And now vote on who had the most heroic, amazing, jaw-dropping, show-stopping moment of the episode.
I will put up Jill's for running through the exploding landmines in search of the Camtoon. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that is pretty thrilling adventure, if I do say so myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
All right. That is the Hero of the Day award of 1 XP. We are right at time. So I will ask real quick for wishes. I wish that Sam could make all the but it's okay. That's what I would wish. I've had so much fun playing with you. I can't wait to have you back for our last session. Anyone else have any wishes they'd like to throw out as we bring things to a close?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I see some nomenclature that I don't fully understand. One is episode and another is movie.
Yeah, so movie is supposed to be your full-on adventure, and episode is well, I don't know. I'll look it up. I'm a little confused too, because at one point I think I'd said that episode wasn't session, but I may be wrong on that. So let me just look it up real quick. Do you have any other wishes while I'm looking that up?
No, I think this went pretty well for me. I got a handle for everything. I can't really think of anything. Seeing more pulp stuff, but I think
Cool.
we did that pretty well with the explosions and the chase scenes and all that. So I think that was great.
Episode is another word for session in Thrilling Adventures. My bad. So I did misspeak, and we probably should have had you roll for cash, but I'm okay with what we did. But now I know for future. Cool. And then episodes linked together is called a movie. Awesome. Thank you very much. More pulp. Steven, who'd like to go next with wishes?
I got one.
Go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to say, the wish is kind of for myself because I have all these cool bonds and I have not been utilizing them.
Yes.
I need to remember to push those.
One last thing I'd like to do, just again, because this is only 4 sessions, I'd like everyone to choose another PC that you feel you've strengthened or weakened the bond narratively, and do that now.
Taking a minus with UConn.
Yep. Same thought.
It's tough.
I think I'm going to strengthen my bond with Death Sheet.
Yeah, I'm gonna plus with Jill's because I think we had that scene at the end and we're working together and we're like, okay, we've got a thing going.
Your one buddy's going to be gone next session. Dang it, Jills. You have the worst luck. Cool. Thank you all.
I'll
for
throw
that.
my wish in for. I would like to see a showstopper move go off. I don't think any of us have used it yet for the movie, which is your sort of carte blanche, do an awesome thing move.
Yeah, it's kind of a moment of truth from Masks there. I like it.
Because you don't have to buy it, right?
Right, you have it.
Yeah. You just
Okay.
have it.
It's once per movie.
Masks was I used my moment of truth and didn't realize it was an advance that I had to have first. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, I've had someone do that too. Okay. Thank you, Greg. And then Cody. Any wishes?
Yeah. No wishes for me. Personal wish I got more sleep because I feel absolutely terrible.
I'm sorry,
that's on me. So yeah, no wishes here. I think this is really growing and unfurling into something pretty cool.
Good. Thank you guys for reminding me of transition scenes. I think that was really cool. I appreciate that. And it was fun. I think the transition scenes is a cool thing. Let's go with stars. Cody, you went last with wishes. You could go first with stars.
yeah, I think the stars, it transitions and cutscenes. I think those two together, and with the moves that people are using, the big star is everybody building this adventure, because it's so, I'm so like, a lot of games always say like, oh, play to find out what happens, play to find out what happens, and it's like, no, the GM's going to have a story for you, and you're going to go through certain beats, but you're going to find new things as you go. And between the adventure diary, and then these transition cutscenes, and the study moves and stuff like that, it's like, you know, we started this session, I didn't know we were going to go to the moon of Stenos and find like a holocron. So it's just like having all this stuff building up. It's like, this really is fun. This is very exciting to like play through and just be like, what are we adding next? So just big stars to everybody for being so collaborative and having such great ideas to add into the mix to yes and everything. So yeah, big star.
Thanks, Cody. Greg, did you have any stars?
I really loved everybody's cutscenes when we were fleeing from Fallujah. And I just loved all of them, and us kind of building on each other's stuff. I feel like I really know all of the characters better, so the cutscene stuff is obviously working for its intended purpose. And then also just an extra star to Cody. I loved this is what we got. It's like the start of a holocron. And you're like, oh, it's a triangle. We know this for a triangle. I love that.
That was really fun. Thank you, Greg. Then Sam.
Yeah, I also stars for the cutscenes. Those were fantastic, and I love them. And then a specific star to Greg for going along with my stupid plan with late 2. And I just the dumbest idea, and it came out, and it was really fun, and I really enjoyed that setup. And rolling a 13 on it, it was very good.
Yes.
Now my second Droidica. So yeah, Star Wars Saturdays.
Yes, all the Droidicas. We had a chef in one. So good stuff. Thank you, Sam. Steven, any stars left for you?
Yeah. So I really appreciate Cody, you leaning into being as antagonistic as we are towards each other. That was a lot of fun. And Greg, you whipping up the picture of late 2 with the Droidica body, that was fantastic. That was so awesome. And Sam, I really like that scene that we had where you involved your grandparents, you know, and we saw them and everything. That seemed really good. So yeah, that was a cutscene, right?
It was. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember that.
Good.
I liked that it was involving Deshi's grandparents, but not making Deshi's grandparent or older, you know, advice-giving person telling you are like the chosen savior of anything. It was just really good advice from a level-headed older person. That was awesome. I love that. It's not something we always see in Star Wars. We always want to escalate it and make people like chosen ones. And Deshi maybe isn't chosen one. Just you know, a person that the Zygerians are using. We'll see how that goes. Cool. Thank you all so much for playing in our second session of Thrilling Adventure. I cannot wait to continue the movie of the theft of the Kyber Idol with you next week. Thanks all, and we'll bring the recording to a close here.